So ICE is out here, still in Chicago, still across America, deporting illegals as they should be. And the Democrats are not looking good. So they're on a line campaign to try to save and salvage their image before the midterms and before the next presidential election. And it's not looking good for them.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters. How are you all doing this evening? It's your brother Afro Elite. We're going to have a good one tonight. We are going to have a good one tonight, okay? I'm so glad that you guys are in here. We got a lot of new subscribers. We're getting back on that algorithm the way we supposed to. So thank you all for that. Shout out to you guys for that sincerely. We're going to get stuff started real quick. I appreciate every single last one of y'all. This is going to be the last one before we get into the weekend, and I hope y'all have a good weekend, all right? So, as you guys know, while y'all hitting that like button and chatting and doing all that stuff y'all got to be doing, what I need you guys to do is that, okay, make sure y'all hit that like button, make sure y'all hit that subscribe and the notification bell, then chat off in the chat room, boy. I'll be hitting this copyright disclaimer to establish to YouTube that everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use, all right? I'll be right back. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. You got to play that. We got to do it because you know how they do. You know how they like to, cherry pick. They like to cherry pick, take certain things down, do certain stuff. And you know what I'm saying? So this is to protect the interest of, the channel. All right. So we can all do that. So glad we got that out the way. Now I want to start off. This was something that was unexpected. Shout out to Sage. I see you in the room, brother. Shout out to you. This was something a little bit unexpected. But I want to start off here. Let me start off right here. I'm glad Sage is right here. I'm actually glad that he's right here. So I already played the copyright disclaimer. Establishing the YouTube, everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. We got some information on Reverend Al Sharpton. Okay, and let me just a little some, just a little play some for you. Okay. So word on the street is Al Sharpton is a secret informant. We're going to look into that.
Al Sharpton has come clean about his secret past as a government informant. CBS 2's Dave Carlin tells us the activist admitted to helping the FBI bring down some of New York's most wanted.
I was not and am not a rat.
The Reverend Al Sharpton identified as confidential informant CI7, now admitting he wore a wire for the FBI. He helped the government go after boxing promoter Don King, music executives, and mobsters, including Vincent the Chin Gigante, who famously wore his robe and pajamas in public.
I was cooperating.
Sources say that cooperation likely started after he was nabbed in a drug sting caught on video. Helping the feds may have helped him. But Sharpton says he went to them because members of the mob wanted him dead.
They were threatening to kill me.
Sharpton is kicking off his National Action Network convention this week with headliners President Obama and Mayor de Blasio, who defended Sharpton.
I think he has done a lot of good for the city of New York and for this country.
Retired NYPD Detective Sergeant Joseph Jackalone says unmasking any confidential informant troubles him.
You never want this because we need people to help cooperate, so this is an unfortunate incident.
Sharpton said he has no regrets. He'd do it all again. Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
Okay. And in return for his cooperation, they gave him Ozempic, and that's why he looks how he looks now. Now, I want you guys to think about this, okay? Think about this. Do you think that the mob was the only people he was snitching on? Just a question, not a accusation. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just asking a question. Do you think that the mafia was the only people Al Sharpton was snitching on? Now, he admitted he was a snitch, okay? But we got to break this stuff down. We got to break this stuff down, right? Being a snitch and being a rat kind of are the same, but they're not the same, okay? And I'm going to break it down real quick. I'm going to break this down. Being a snitch is if we all doing something, like say you and a gang of people, y'all doing something y'all not supposed to be doing, and y'all get caught, and then you spill the beans on everybody to save yourself. Okay. So you're getting caught, and this is in your best interest to snitch on everybody else. Okay. Either that or you doing it to get back at somebody else. That's snitching. A rat. Oh, no, no, no. A rat is an agent that is planted into a situation that is there to get information out the group. That's different from a snitch. A rat is, if they're in the same family. Do you understand? They're in the same family, but a rat is at the top of the family. A snitch is just they're bad, but a rat is at the top of the family because the rat's whole intent is to get information. A snitch just happens to have the information and intel. A rat's intention, his assignment, his or her, because there'd be rats who women, their assignment is to go in there and to get intel and to get people in trouble. Okay. They're deliberately trying to get people in trouble. So they instigate situations. And this kind of goes into what used to happen with COINTELPRO. I'm glad that we can talk about this, because they used to have, CIA used to have COINTELPRO rats and informants who would go into member meetings and things of the sort, wearing wires, wearing different devices, going there trying to instigate certain things, and wind up getting people in trouble. All right. We can talk about the situation that, let's be honest, some of our greatest leaders, Malcolm X, was surrounded by rats. He was surrounded by informants. He was surrounded by agents who are deliberately there to set him up. Okay. Dr. King was also surrounded by rats. He was surrounded by people who was there to set him up. Now, because they couldn't do it legally, because these people actually didn't break the law in any way, because if they did, trust me, we would know about it. That's why I don't like when people talk about Dr. King was an adulterer who had all these orgies. If that was the case, Dr. King would be arrested. We would know all about all of the details. The fact that we don't know none of the details after all of this time means it's not true. Okay, they were spying on all his phone calls. They were spying on everywhere he went. If that was slightly true, we would know all about it. So that's a total lie. But their rats set them up, and they said, hey, okay, since we don't have no dirt, these people are super squeaky clean. We can't get no dirt under their fingernails, or we can't find no dirt under their fingernails. We just gonna have to take them out. And that's what happened. That's also what happened with the Black Panther Party. Okay, William O'Neill, the person who set up Fred Hampton, a rat. He got caught, and then he has an assignment. That's what I'm saying. Rats have assignments. He had an assignment to set Fred Hampton up. And we didn't know about that until he made that confession video. We knew something happened to Fred Hampton, but we didn't know who it was, what happened, until he made a confession video. This is what a rat is. So I'm letting it be known. Rats are very dangerous to the community. I don't believe at all that Al Sharpton is only a rat for the mafia and he's not doing anything malicious, even though he's working for the same government that put rats in our community. It's the same exact government, same exact people running it, but he's going to be a rat for the mafia and not be a rat for the Black community. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe that. I just don't. I can't believe that. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to be a rat for one thing, you're going to be a rat for everything. That's just the way rats work. You can't just, you're not a selective rat. You're a rat for them, but you're not a rat for every, no. That's just not how it works. Okay. That's not how it works. So that's interesting. That's, my brother Sage sent me that clip today, and I definitely wanted to speak on that today, to mention that. All right. And that's just not how rats work. It's not how they work. Now, I want to get this started. I want to get started off because Al Sharpton, I'm still thinking about Al Sharpton. Stephen A. Smith did an interview with J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. Okay. He did an interview with the governor of Illinois. Now, Stephen A. Smith, I guess he's kind of snapping off on the Democratic Party, because Stephen A. was snapping off on the Democratic Party, in particular Jasmine Crockett, and then he got a lot of pushback. I'm talking about, he got so much pushback from all of the DNC shields. He let up. He made an apology, so now he's kind of, I guess, trying to get back in good graces because they was beating him down. Okay, all right. So he did something with JB Pritzker. Let me get to the super chat real fast. Shout out to Antithesis. He says, out here supporting, need that info on that necklace though. I gotta find her name. I will put it up tonight. I will put it, because I narrowed it down. I'll put it up tonight. Just come back later on tonight on the community tab and I'll find it. I'll have it up. Okay. And then Yo-Yo, thank you, Yo-Yo. I appreciate you, Yo-Yo. Thank you for the support. Let me get to the interview. It's a long thing. I'm only gonna play a little bit of it, just to get kind of like the gist of it, so we can break it down. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go.
State of Illinois. He's the one and only governor. He's on the line with us right now. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
How are you, Stephen A? I'm doing okay, by the way, because the Bears are doing okay. We finally have a quarterback.
Well, first of all, congratulations on that. You're actually going to be all right, but I'm going to just give you caution because they were 4-2 at this time last year, and then they nosedive. So I would tell you wait another week before you get too excited about them. But we can talk about that another time. Governor, thank you so much for your time. Let's get right to it. Earlier this month, President Trump posted on Truth Social that you and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. What's your response to the president's suggestion, sir?
Well, first of all, the president of the United States threatening to jail elected officials improperly and with no cause is something that I haven't seen in my entire lifetime. It doesn't happen except under this president. He regularly breaches the Constitution. We've been on the ground here doing everything that we can to keep peace when ICE and CBP are literally marching down the streets with automatic weapons in downtown Chicago. They're zip tying children. They're taking elderly people in the middle of the night, sticking them in U-Hauls. These are U.S. citizens often, and they're just stopping Black and brown people on the streets and asking them to prove their citizenship. No probable cause.
All right. Let's first off, let me stop there. Okay. The whole thing of, and we talked about this before. Trump was talking about he was going to arrest, or there should be an arrest made of Brandon Johnson and JB Pritzker for not protecting ICE. I do think that there should be arrests made. If you want to get them, you can get them. They got so much dirt under their fingernails. There's so many damn skeletons in the closet. You think it was a graveyard. There's a lot of stuff you can get them on: corruption. You can get them on bribery. You can get them on a whole bunch of different stuff. JB Pritzker, his family owns a whole bunch of hotels. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the Hyatt hotels, and they employ illegally a lot of people. Immigrants, illegal immigrants. They employ a lot of them illegally, bypassing a lot of labor laws. Okay. And he knows that. That's why he's such an advocate for defending that, because they work in his hotels. Okay. This is something that if you live in Chicago, or even if you really live in the state of Illinois, you know that. The bribery goes super deep with all of them. We all know that. So if there was some legitimate arrest, that's the direction you should be going for, to arrest them for not protecting ICE agents. I mean, that's just you talking. You're not. There's not a real prosecution you can be made by saying that the governor didn't do a good enough job of protecting the federal agents they're making deportation arrest. That's not nothing. If you want to get them on something, you got to go for the corruption of the city, the bribery, them allowing illegal immigrants to work illegally, and taking some of that donation. A lot of that stuff is donation money. Why do you think that they're doing that? Because these big corporations that work in the city of Chicago and that work in the state of Illinois, they use a lot of illegal labor. Okay. And then it's a wink, wink. If I give you a little bit of money for your donation, give you a little bit of money for your campaign, your reelection is coming up. I know you need I know you need to start with a good donation. I can help you out. I can hook you up. I just need you to turn a blind eye. I just need you to sign off on this. I just need a little bit more protection over here. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You can get them easily on that. If he really wanted to get them, that's it. That's it. That's how we would get him. That's how he would get him. Okay, and it wouldn't take long either. He could get them instantly. Now, let me also say this about the whole they're stopping black and brown people. Ain't no black folk is not getting stopped by ICE. That's not true. It's not. Black people are not being stopped by ICE. That is not true. Okay, he keeps using that one single incident where it was a apartment building that had black people in it, and there were some, not all, but some of the black people who were detained with a raid that went on in a building. Besides that, ICE is not out there detaining black people. And let's be honest, all of the illegal immigrants are not just Hispanic. You have illegal immigrants. The truth got to be told. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You have illegal immigrants who are here from Africa. That is the truth. You have illegal immigrants who are here from the Caribbean. That is the truth. That is the truth. And that stuff we all know. We all know that there's people who come over here and they overstay their visas, or they come over here on the student visa and they hide and shit. We know this. So when you see somebody who's like, oh my God, they're getting a black person, they're, first off, they might have a warrant for their arrest. I've shown you guys people who are black by race, their race is black, and they're going to ICE deportation. They're getting arrested by ICE after court. Okay. And as far as foundational black Americans, ICE ain't sitting up there just pulling us over and saying, where's your paperwork? Where's your paperwork? That's not happening. But that's what JB Pritzker's saying. Let's let him continue.
And no due process. So I don't have much to say except that, I've said it before. President thinks he can jail me. Come get me.
So are you of the mindset, are you saying, because, I've spoken to Tom Bordazar, Palm Homan on several occasions and others, and he's saying that statistics prove that the vast majority of those detained have been, criminals and illegal migrants. That's what he's saying, that the vast majority of them have been criminals. It's not true that it's U.S. citizens that this has happened to by and large. Certainly there are mistakes that are made here and there, but his position, his contention is that that's just not true. Are you saying that that's false?
He's conflating the people that you're stopping, and that are undocumented, right? He's conflating just folks who are undocumented with the worst of the worst that they said they were going to go after, right? We want them to come get the violent criminals. We love that. We'd love help doing that. That's not what they're doing. In fact, that building that got attacked in Chicago and South Shore that had 130 people in it, we're talking about 2 members of Tren de Aragua that they were going after. But instead, they detained everybody in that building. We have people who live in Chicago.
Okay, now let's... Stop. Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. Okay, we've actually seen the arrest. We've seen a lot of the arrest and the people who they've gone after. Okay, let JB Pritzker, let the Democratic Shields, let Brandon Johnson tell it. None of them are harmful. None of them are dangerous. None of them are criminal, even though they're here illegally, which is a crime. But besides that being a crime, none of them are additional criminals, so to speak. None of them are bad. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. None of them are bad. Even though it's a crime, despite them being a dangerous criminal or not, it is still a crime. Therefore, they are still criminals by definition. Now you're going on to the raid in South Shore. The raid in South Shore, there was over 30 arrests, 37 arrests to be exact, made. Everybody was detained. There were 37 arrests made. And they tried to downplay that the second it happened. And now they're saying, well, it's only 2. It was literally only 2 people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because they said they made 37 arrests. And here's why I don't believe that, because people in Chicago have came out and several videos have actually shown them walking through the building. Now, I haven't been at that building to take any footage of it. I probably should do that. I probably will do that now that I bring it up. But there's been people walking in through the building. There's been people who live right next door to the building who are on their phone and saying, hey, I live next door. This is a known criminal building, or this building is known to have been taken over by Tren de Aragua. See, let me tell you something. We, as foundational Black Americans, we are very in tune with what goes on in the neighborhood. We know this is how a part of our survival mechanism. Okay, we have to know what's going on in the neighborhood. We got to know. Okay, we got to know of, okay, this is a part of our culture because we've adopted this with a survivalistic mentality. Okay, let me take this off the screen so I can really break that down. We all know. We know in the neighborhood who does what. We know in the neighborhood, if somebody pull up, we know whose car belongs to who. We know, okay, he's going home, or he works in the night. He works over here. He got kids over there. We know all of this stuff. We know this stuff. These people just moved in. I'm going to tell you something, and it's a stereotype, but it's a stereotype that came from our culture because our culture is so used to being aware of certain things. We know because we got old nosy neighbors. We got the stereotype for folk being nosy. When we hearing something outside, everybody looking through the blinds to find out what's going on. We're stereotypically nosy about our neighborhood. Now that's something funny, but that's something that we had to adapt in order to survive danger that comes in our neighborhood, in order to understand what's going on, who's coming in, and all of that. So we've adapted that culturally. So that's why when we hear some noise, we be all like, who's that? What's going on? Who's pulling up? I ain't seen that car before. That we do that. Okay. We still do that today. So we know what's going on in the neighborhood. I circle that back to bring back, follow me, to the situation with South Shore in Chicago. We all knew. We knew that building was flooded with Trinidad Aragua gang members. We knew that. That was a known thing. And it's been that way for a while. Okay. They came in, they just started taking over apartment buildings, started busting stuff, busting cameras and locks and stuff like that, started just busting stuff down, replacing doors, and they're just moving in there. That's known. It wasn't no two people. It was not. The black folk who live in that building and in the surrounding area knew that. It was known. So that's why you saw a whole bunch of black people like, yeah, they've been up in there. Yes, they have been up in there, because you can't fool us, because we knew that. Okay? We knew that. And we've been wanting them to get up out of there. We know where they at. We know what they be doing. And let's be honest, these illegals, they're not that covert. They're not very covert. They be loitering outside. They be drinking in the middle of the day outside. Like these people, a lot of them just be drinking in the middle. It's a thing. It's a thing, especially if you in Chicago, it's a thing where they just kind of just stand outside and drink in the middle of the day. Like they'll take a lawn chair and they'll just sit on that. It's something that they do. It is something that they do. They will just stand outside and drink. A lot of them do. And we know it. So that's how we know where they be. Okay? We know what they be, and we know what they be doing. They be wearing their uniform. We know what they be doing, and we know where they're at. So when black folk don't even believe the media, don't believe Donald Trump, don't believe Tom Homan, believe the community. When the community comes out and tells you, hey, I live next door to that building, and that building was flooded with Trinidad Aragua gang members, and the media is lying to you, that's the legitimate source that we should all be believing. I'm not even saying believe Trump, Tom Homan. I'm not saying believe J.B. Pritzker or Brandon Johnson. I'm saying believe the community and what the community is saying. And I'm saying I've seen it. Maybe not in that building, but I've seen it. I know they're flooded with criminals, okay? Everybody in South Shore, I got family who live in South Shore. Everybody over there knows, okay? Come on now. Come on. Let's get back to it. Let's get back.
10, 20, 30 years. They overstay their visa at some point in their lives, or they're undocumented. That's true. There are people like that in Chicago, but they're often people who are holding down jobs and paying taxes. They're people who are following the law and have been their entire time in the United States. And I think that we ought to have laws that protect them. In fact, that invite people like them, hardworking people that are following the law. And instead, let's go after the people that are actually doing wrong, that are undocumented. And again, the percentages of those.
But first off, JB is not, first off, anyway. Why do you not incentivize them to actually get citizenship or to get their paperwork in order. What type of and this is just something that confuses me as a black man. This is what confuses me, because they never ever allow any black person, man or woman, to sit up there and be all like, yeah, I know they're not doing things the legal way, but we should just kind of ignore it and let them be. As black people, that's a privilege, okay? These people have immigrant privileges that we don't have. We don't have I know it's against the law, but it's not that bad, so we'll just kind of pretend like it's okay. We should actually have laws to protect you, because you guys might get arrested for breaking the law. So because you guys broke the law, I'm going to develop a law that then protects you from the punishment of breaking the law you just broke. That is a privilege, ladies and gentlemen, that we cannot experience. We never experience that. As foundational Black Americans, we got to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's in every situation. There's red tape that we got to, I'm talking about, it is every single sticker, every fine, every fee, every single thing, every petition, everything got to be on the up and up. And the second it's not, they be all like, I looked through a 600-page document, and on page 432, you didn't sign that. So hands behind your back, ma'am. That's exactly what they do. And then now you got J.B. Pritzker talking about creating laws to protect people who are not obeying the laws of immigration. Not saying that, hey, man, if they're not here, legally, what they should be doing is, because they know they're not here legally. That's the thing. Nobody's like, oh, I thought I was doing everything right. They know that their paperwork is not in order. So why are we not saying, you know what, y'all need to get y'all paperwork in order, or you guys are going to have to go? He's saying we need to have laws to protect people who essentially are not abiding by immigration laws. And as a black person who they would never do that for, we're expected to go fight ICE on their behalf. That's what he's saying. Then he's also saying get the dangerous ones. When J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson have both made it crystal clear that they are in no way supporting Donald Trump or ICE in getting anybody at all, not even the most dangerous one. I have shown clips after clips after clips where they've had to go into neighborhoods and pull them out themselves. Gang members. Now, what's interesting is that J.B. Pritzker said that there was 2 gang members. Let's say that. 2 is too many, but let's say it was only 2. Let's say it was only 2. Only 2. What is J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson going to do? Why have you guys not cooperated with the federal government in getting those 2? If it was only 2, why have you guys not cooperated in getting those 2 out the building? Or why did you guys not take any initiative of making sure those 2 never entered that building in the first place? Why? You're talking about creating more laws and signing more legislation for illegals, and you got them running up into building with actual citizens. You're prioritizing them by your own words over citizens. By your own words. They're not doing anything. Even if it was, well, let's just get the most dangerous ones out the way. That's not what Trump is doing. Okay, well, what are you guys doing to get the most dangerous ones out the way? Because according to what you guys say, none of them are dangerous. And the ones that are super deprived criminals, y'all ignore those and act like they don't exist. So what choice do you leave the federal government at that point? At this point, the federal government just has to ignore everything y'all saying, and they just go gun hole up in there. And now y'all want to complain, oh, they broke a door down. There's a helicopter. What are we doing? Yeah, you want to complain now. Y'all had ample time to develop some type of plan. And y'all say, no, we're not going to do it. Okay. Continuing, because there's still some more stuff we got to cover, y'all. If y'all could do me a solid, though, and hit that like button If y'all could do me a solid and hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very small.
Governor, you just stated for the record that you would love to receive assistance when it comes to certain issues like that, and you said you're happy for them to do it, get the violent criminals off the streets, etc. Have you ever officially asked the federal government for assistance with the National Guard?
Indeed, not with the National Guard, because that is not what we need on the streets of the city of Chicago. What we do need are civilian law enforcement. What I've asked for is FBI, ATF, DEA, come get the drug dealers, come help us get guns off the streets, come help get the gang members off the streets. Indeed, we've been doing that for many years with those agencies at the local and state level, working with the feds. But that's not what he's offering now. He never did offer any of that. In fact, he's repositioned people from those agencies to ICE and CBP when we actually need help on the streets with some of these other issues.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Explain to my audience, why would he make that transition? Why, rather than just, like you said, the FBI or anybody else, rather than just doing that, why would he transition these people to ICE? What's the reason for that in your estimation?
Look, as you know,
okay, the reason for that is because what he's been requesting has nothing to do with immigration. He does not want Trump to have any say-so, or the federal government to have any say-so on immigration. He don't want them gone. I'm letting everybody know J.B. Pritzker benefits from them being there. Brandon Johnson as well too, but J.B. Pritzker definitely, for sure, he benefits from them being there. So he doesn't want them gone. That's why he's not asking or has not made any request for the federal government to step in and to try to help them out, which is why he's made it crystal clear that he's denying and rejecting their presence in the state of Illinois, because he don't want them gone.
He said that he was going to come after immigration. He thinks that what he's doing now is actually helping. It's not. It is literally causing mayhem on the ground, which is something that he wants. So why does he want it? Why does he want to send troops in? I will tell you what my theory is about this, and I believe I'm right, which is because he's talked about this for some time. Let's go back to 2020 when he said that the election was stolen from him. It wasn't. And it was Michael Flynn that told the president, and he repeated it, that maybe they should just seize the ballot boxes with the military. Maybe they should go to where the ballot box, and then they should count the votes themselves. Here we are in 2025. He is becoming more unpopular. He is likely to lose the 2026 elections, and he's sending troops into American cities, and particularly in blue states, in blue cities, to put them on the ground, get us used to the idea of having military on the ground. I believe because he then will say, well, I'm going to go protect our polling places in Illinois. And then if he is losing the elections, meaning the Congress, he will frankly just seize the ballot boxes.
So you think he's going to, so you're saying that the president of the United States is going to try to steal an election? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, this is a guy who tried to steal the election back in 2020, and he would do it again. Yeah, I think he's proven that he's willing to do that.
ICE agents have been active in Chicago, leading to clashes with residents.
Okay, listen. As far as the elections are concerned, I feel like that theory is pretty far-fetched. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible, because they both be stealing. Here's the thing. Both of the parties consistently accuse the other party of stealing the election. And it's always been that. Well, it's not always been that way, but it's been that way for a minute. It's been that way for a long time, okay? Both parties are always saying that, oh, Russia was involved. Oh, y'all stole. Y'all hit the ballot. That's always going to be the case. As what I know and what I care about is if Trump steals the election or if the Democrats steal the election, who's doing something for me? Who's doing something for black people? Okay? Because if neither of y'all are doing anything for black people, I don't care who steal it. You steal it, he steal it, she steal it, they steal it. I don't care who steal it, because y'all not doing nothing for black people. Now they're going to try to twist this to make it seem as if this is not about immigration. This is about the election. No, I doubt that. I doubt it. Why I doubt that is because ICE has been deporting people all year long. It would be one thing if they just started, but they started all the way back in January. They've been doing this all the way from January. So there's no way he could be doing this to get the community used to the ballot box being, or National Guard being on the ground for. No, I no, that theory don't. Nah, I don't even know about that. To be very honest with you, I think that theory is kind of far-fetched.
residents and protesters, and in one case, serious injury to an ICE officer and the death of a suspect. A federal court in Chicago has ordered sweeping new limits on ICE operations in the Midwest. Explain what that ruling means, sir.
Yeah, vitally important. And I want to also just step back and say how important it is our judiciary is stepping in here. We have to have checks and balances, because right now the Congress is not acting as a check and balance. We need the judiciary. And indeed, we've been winning in court here in Chicago and in Illinois. And the ruling that limits what ICE can do, remember, they're just telling ICE, live by the rules, the protocols of being a federal agent. That's not what they're doing now, right? They're literally wearing masks, not telling people who they are, driving up in unidentified cars, and banging down doors. That's not the way we do law enforcement in the United States at all.
Yes, it is. I don't know. Yes, it is. That's not the way we do law enforcement. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In Illinois, in Chicago, y'all been on that. Y'all got black sites in secret prisons and all of that stuff. Y'all been doing that. Y'all do that everywhere. Y'all do that in Illinois. Y'all do that in New York. Y'all do that in the South. Okay. We just had that case of that one brother, that young brother who took his own life because a police officer coerced somebody to make a false report on somebody for a car accident in Louisiana. Y'all do that all the time in LA. Speaking of law enforcement, since law enforcement don't do that, let JB Prisker tell it. Law enforcement don't do that. Let me show you this one video. Hold on for a second. Let me show you this one video. They think when we playing, I swear to God, they don't understand. They don't understand that. They don't understand what we're doing. Hold on. I just had to pull this up. Hold on. Here, since law enforcement doesn't do that, let me show y'all this.
This Latina LAPD officer said, if you want to hurt black Americans, hit them in the livers. Hit them in the liver. They got weak livers. Mind you, this is LAPD. And then she goes on with some more racial stereotypes, saying that black people drink grape soda and they eat watermelon in between basketball games. The audacity of this Latina with all the fruit stands that's throughout Southern California, especially LA. And these fruit stands are operated by undocumented Hispanics. They got watermelon heavy in those fruit stands. They have an additional 90 recordings they retrieved with more racial comments like this, even calling black people monkeys. For some strange reason, Hispanics are obsessed with calling black people chongas, monkeys. And to top it all off, they had an Asian sergeant that tried to cover up for them, Denny Jong. Over 50% of LA law enforcement is Hispanics, and not to mention they have deputy gangs, Hispanic deputy gangs that target black Americans. There should be a deep dive investigation.
Okay. Do y'all see that? Okay, that's that black and brown coalition too. We got to think about that. That's that black and brown coalition. I want to show this other video because I saw this and I definitely want to talk about this. Law enforcement don't do that. Now, mind you, these are people who don't say anything about law enforcement and the corruption of law enforcement. They have nothing to say about that up until the person up until it's ICE. Now, when they're protecting Hispanics, then law enforcement is a problem. Law enforcement is a problem when Hispanics need to be protected from deportation. Now, when it's false arrest, when there's racist police officers, not just in the state of LA or California, but all around the country. I want to show y'all something else. This is something I've also been looking into. Let me show y'all something else. Hold on.
Constitutional right to carry a
gun
if you have the proper licenses. But some black gun owners say their rights are being violated. CBS News Chicago investigator Dorothy Tucker uncovered several cases where they were stopped by police and charged with felonies, despite having everything in order, leaving them to pick up the pieces of their lives.
We did something that's never been done before, watermelon cheesecake.
A cheesecake tasting in the south suburbs. Louis McWilliams' dream is to grow his business.
I'm just gonna blow you away.
I like it. All was good.
I told you. She's like a jolly ranch.
Until this.
I can't say right now,
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a cheesecake company called Ann's Flavored Cheesecakes.
At the time of this interview, Louis faced a felony charge.
This has been very traumatic for me. I feel like my rights was violated.
His Second Amendment rights. Lewis is an avid gun owner.
Just got me the AR top in the middle.
In April, Lewis was pulled over on the south side, West 79th Street. He had a missing front plate.
Yes, sir. How you doing, boss? Good, good.
The first thing he did, tell the officers he had a gun.
Okay, where's your firearm? On my side. Okay, you got your concealed carry license?
According to state law, in order to carry a legal gun in your car, you need a firearms license, better known as a FOID card, and a concealed and carry license, commonly called a CCL. This is Lewis's card, and it's valid. That's what he handed the officers.
He looks at him. He said, okay, cool, this is perfect.
Only it wasn't.
Concealed carry, it didn't pop up. Oh.
It didn't pop up on Leeds, the database operated by the Illinois State Police.
I need you to step out for me.
Police recommended Lewis be charged with 2 felonies.
I can't say right now, Mr. Good, because you can't verify your facility.
And look here, prosecutors approved the charges.
He never should have been charged.
Irv Miller is a former prosecutor, once in charge of reviewing police cases.
He showed them a valid CCL card. Not only did they see it, they actually took possession of it and inventoried it.
I haven't got the
It's right there in CPD's inventory sheet. So why was Lewis arrested? That's a question we wanted to ask Superintendent Larry Snelling, but he declined an interview.
So we reached out to...
Okay. Now, because that goes on for a minute. That goes on for a minute, okay? A lot of people, there's not super confirmation, but a lot of people saying that the cop who arrested him looked like he was white Hispanic. I don't know that, so I'm not saying that, but that's what I've seen some people say. But this is going on where black people's rights are being violated, yet Brandon Johnson don't be talking about black people's rights. J.B. Pritzker doesn't talk about black people's rights, okay? All of the Democrat shills that are talking about due process and making sure that ICE takes care of illegal immigrants and making sure that their rights in a country that they broke into is being protected. Their rights in a country that they're legally not supposed to be in, they're in illegally, is being protected, while you have foundational black American business owners who are having our rights violated. This brother has his rights violated. He's missing business opportunities because he's in prison for a crime he clearly is innocent of. All right, let me show y'all something else. This one more thing I want to show y'all. While J.B. Pritzker's advocating for the quote-unquote rights of illegals, okay, and their due process. Let me show y'all this. Gotta unmute it real quick. Is it up? Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Come on, man. My fault. It took a little second.
According to his attorney, the incident in question took place back in March, leading police officer Anthony Banks to go on medical leave out of distress, trauma, and fear of his own safety. And while he is back on active duty, Banks has been transferred to another police district. It was March 17th, inside the Chicago Police Department's 11th District on the city's west side, when a federal civil rights lawsuit filed yesterday states that Officer Anthony Banks was cornered by a group of fellow officers.
They encircled him in such a fashion that he did not feel free to leave, like he could walk out of the circle. And they all surround my client, start making racial comments, and also telling him to go back where he came from.
The incident, says Banks' attorney, took place following an earlier disagreement, during which, while all were carrying out their duties inside someone's home, Banks allegedly stepped in to de-escalate a heated exchange between a visibly pregnant woman and another officer.
He intervened and said, why don't you distance yourself and give her some room.
According to the lawsuit, 2 Chicago police sergeants who witnessed the confrontation intervened. Banks was sent home and asked to fill out a report documenting the incident. By the next day, the lawsuit states Banks received a graphic and threatening email containing a racist image on his department-issued phone.
The image is the most racially perverse photograph of how an African American can kill himself. It is a 1950s Mississippi type of representation.
Horowitz says Banks went on medical leave shortly after the incident, returning to duty on July 1st. He was transferred to CPD's 6th District, but has chosen to file suit to shed light on the issue of racism within the department.
My client has chosen to ruffle feathers and chosen to come out and tell what happened because it's important.
Neither CPD nor the city's law department would comment on either the lawsuit or the allegations today, saying.
Now, let me just stop that real quick, because that's very interesting. Let me stop that. Stop that real quick. That's interesting. When we talk about we need black cops, we need more black cops.
A main thoroughfare
and the
in
reason
northwest
why
suburban
we don't see
Elgin
black
has been
cops really doing what they're supposed to be doing is because they're a part of the system. When you become a police officer, you become a part of the system. And you're one person, you're one individual. If you buck wrong, the system will check you. They check that police officer. This is a police officer who's suing the police department because the police sent him a black person hanging. The police sent another police officer hanging from a tree. So now he got to sue the department. This is how corrupt the police are in Chicago, to where they would threaten with a noose the lynching of another police officer. Then this is going on under J.B. Pritzker's watch. This is going on under Brandon Johnson's watch. And they're sitting up there talking about how ICE needs to be easier and softer on a bunch of illegal gang members. Hell yeah, I know that there was illegal gang members up in the building. I understand that. I know that. They've confirmed that, but you didn't have to wake everybody up. That was just rude to wake everybody up. You got police officers fearing for their life against the police, and y'all want to talk about how ICE is being too mean and ICE is being threatening. That's their concern. That's their priority. Yeah, they don't speak for what's in the best interest of black people. Black people have been having to go through all of this stuff. This is why everybody's crying to us. This is going on deaf ears. We had to deal with racist cops, and a lot of them are Hispanic. We've had to deal with all of this stuff all the time. So, yeah, a lot of y'all complaints are going on deaf ears. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Then he brings up one thing. There's one more thing in this interview I wanna break down for y'all. Hold on.
Indeed, that's why the business community stood with me as I said very loudly and clearly, and I think it got covered nationally, that don't send troops here. Please send us other kinds of.
Do your residents, dare I say, particularly your black ones, believe, feel the same way that you do in the city of Chicago, if not the state of Illinois right now?
Yes, vast majority do. That what they believe, and I think they're right, is that we need more help. They actually, I've stood.
Now, J.B. Pritzker lied straight through his fat face. Now, I'm not saying fat to bully. I'm just saying because, fat faces can be a good thing if they're on the baby or something. He said, yeah, they strongly do. They stood with me. You do not speak for black people. You do not speak for Black Chicago, J.B. Pritzker. You don't speak for black people. You don't speak for no black person at all. You do not speak. Yeah, they agree. No, we don't. No, we don't. You see us engaged in the protest. You see us engaged, okay, and speaking up for your behalf. If we did, we do not. Black people across the whole state of Illinois do not agree with this nonsense, okay? You got all of these things going on from law enforcement being targeted, black people being targeted, and J.B. Pritzker is not there at all. He's not present at all. Now, when it comes to ICE and deportations, J.B. Pritzker is acting like, yeah, he down with the brothers. He down with the community. He know what's up. No, you do not speak to black people, not the black grassroots. You might speak to some paid bootlick Democrat shill, okay, who's on the take, and who's going to say, yes, a boss to everything you say, but you don't speak for the grassroots. You don't.
I say particularly your black ones believe, feel the same way that you do in the city of Chicago, if not the state of Illinois right now.
Yes, vast majority do. That what they believe, and I think they're right, is that we need more help. They actually, I've stood in front of crowds in the black community regularly. I talk about the fact that, because I've been asked, do you want to defund the police? I say, I don't want to defund the police. When I dial 911, I want to make sure a police officer comes if I need one.
Absolutely.
And so we got to invest, not defund. And by the way, big rounds of applause. I'm talking in the black community, right? And these are the neighborhoods that are most put upon by crime. And we need, but it's not just police, like I said, and by the way, it's not just crime, community violence intervention programs, which are working. It's also about just making sure that people have investment in their small businesses and that we're attracting businesses into the community so we can create jobs and that people can afford to pay for housing. This is a problem, all across America, but we're trying to address it here. Again, that's the kind of help that we need from the federal government, not the sending of troops and the.
Man, please. Man, please. No. When he had the opportunity, when Brandon Johnson had the opportunity, they completely ignored black people all across the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. When Biden was in office, it was not about black people. Black people was not in their concern at all. But now that the elections are coming up and they don't have the House or the Senate or the presidency, they don't have anything. Now it's, you know what, I speak to black people all the time and they tell me they love the police. Black people on the grassroots tell you we love the police. Really? You think that black business owner who lost a business opportunity because he was arrested for having a gun, even though it's legal, you think he's going to tell you how much he loves the police? You think the police officer, the black police officer who's being threatened with a lynching is going to tell you how much he loves the police? They don't speak for black people. They don't. And they're sitting up there. Now they're on a lot of these Democratic governors are on campaigns trying to save face. Let me show y'all something else. Now CNN's getting involved again. Here CNN is again. CNN's get back at it once more. Make sure this isn't nearly as long, so I'm gonna get through this real much faster. Wait a second. Y'all hit that like button? Have y'all hit that like button? If you haven't, it's cool. Just please make sure you do that. You can do it right now. Let's do that right now. Okay.
Some of these interactions between ICE agents and the public, frankly, it's not entirely surprising that that's what's happening as they try to rush these people through the process of getting certified to be on the streets.
Okay, well, in all honesty, I'm athletically allergic. Could not pass the presidential exam when I was in school, could not do a pull-up for a nanosecond. That being said, look, I think this lack of not only the athletic aspect, but also the civics aspect is showing in the interactions we are seeing. There have been at least 170 U.S. citizens that have been detained by ICE. We have seen people get scooped up because they're black in Chicago, U.S. citizen blacks, put into U-Haul trucks, in the back of U-Haul trucks. We have seen teenagers.
No, you see how Anna Navarro, you see how she instantly starts lying? No. You seen, yeah, and we just got put as black folk, we just got thrown into the back of U-Haul. No, that is not what is going on. And don't speak for black people. Don't speak for black people, Anna. Don't you do that. Because if you guys remember, hold on, let's play some receipts, because you know we got them. You know we got the receipts. She originally on another CNN thing tried to compare slavery to deportation. Tried to compare what we got. So let me show y'all that. Hold on. Just to let you know exactly how she be coming in these situations. Yo, Anna, we remember what you was on. We remember that. So now don't be sitting up there trying to defend black people or speak up for black people. You was the one who downplayed slavery to the degree where you were saying slavery and deportation is about the same.
Into here without any process at all, and now you're trying to gum up the works to keep them here.
A lot of them came in. A lot of them came in with parole. A lot of them came in.
CNN polling shows 54% of Americans want Mr.
November
Abrego
polling showed
Garcia
Donald
back.
Trump won the
That's
election.
CNN polling.
Well, you know,
the public is shifting.
All
right.
We are a sovereign nation, and you cannot just come into our country illegally whenever the heck you want, because we can't do it to any other country on the face of this earth.
Asylum is a legal right.
If you come in illegally, you have to leave. Americans are tired of that. We do not have unlimited resources.
You know who was here illegally with a deportation order? Marco Rubio's grandfather.
All right, let's.
We're not talking about Marco Rubio.
Oh, now we're not? Now that's not relevant?
It's not
relevant. No, I'm talking about Marco Rubio, because Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're not.
If you come into this country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
to take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people, other than the black people who were brought here as slaves, who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is a lot of people
There's a big difference. There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
That's
exactly what I just said, Sir Michael. Look and act indignant. That's it.
Do you see that? Do you see that? Oh yeah, black people, we came here illegally as slaves. We came here illegally as no. These people left their country to come to another country. Foundational black Americans in no way, shape, or form did any of that. Okay. We're finding out there was a lot of people who are enslaved, indigenous who were enslaved here and then reclassified as Negro. And then you had Negro or slave that were bought here. Okay. Through the transatlantic slave trade. There was no America before we built America. We did not say, you know what? We can't really make it where we're from. Let's come to America. We did not come to America. We built America. We were forced to build America. We were forced, and I gotta say this again, just to emphasize this. We were forced to build America as slaves. As slaves. You all were not slaves. Nobody makes y'all do anything. You guys volunteered. You guys sacrificed where you're from and said, hey, I'm done. All of this pride in my nation, I don't care about it. I don't care. I'm leaving and never going back. I'm coming to America. That's what y'all doing. And y'all saying legal or illegal, I will come to another country. That ain't got nothing to do with what our ancestors had to go through. How dare she even bring us up to make it seem as if what's happening to them is wrong? How dare she brings us up? Now she wants to talk about how black people are being put in the back of an ice truck. Keep black people, Anna Navarro, keep black people's name out your mouth. How about you do that? How about you do that? How about you keep our name and referring to our ancestors or our people? How about you leave us alone? How about you do that? But I say that let's go back to the CNN clip. The original CNN clip that I was playing. Let's go back to that one. I'm gonna take it back a second. I'll take it back a little bit.
Citizens that have been detained by ICE. We have seen people get scooped up because they're black in Chicago. U.S. citizen blacks put into U-Haul trucks, in the back of U-Haul trucks. We have seen teenagers pinned to the ground. We know that there have been more deaths in ICE custody, in the last few months than there were in the last 4 years. So, I would hope that even folks who are in favor of deporting everybody, I would hope that there would be some agreement that there needs to be rights, that there needs to be a process, that people need to be allowed to show ID, that they can't just be scooped up in that way and have their rights violated. It's just inhumane what we are seeing in the streets of America.
Or at least that the standard shouldn't be lowered just to meet a quota.
Okay, I just have to respond to this. If you are housing or living with somebody in MS-13 or a gang member, it is very possible that you could get swept up in that. That is just a reality.
Listen, the vast majority of the people who have been detained do not have criminal records. 75%.
Well, if you're living with a gang member, you got to know that's a possibility.
The people that were scooped up in this residential building in the middle of the night, you're just making things up. You're making things up. Most of the people that have been detained do not have any criminal records or ties to gangs.
I'm sure you can find an example or two of this, but we also know the situations for a lot of these 170 Americans. And some of them were just happened to be in the same location as other people who might have been targeted by ICE and were still scooped up.
The teenage black boy I was referring to was in a
Anna
CVS.
Navarro's point, that apartment building that they raided a couple of weeks ago, that housed, frankly, mostly Americans, they only identified 2 alleged Tren de Aragua members. The rest of the people who were arrested, including American citizens, they're not gang members. So that's
first off, there were no I don't know. CNN is trying to watch, and this is why it's important that this channel does what it does. This is why it's important that I do what I do and you all do what you guys do. Okay, because what we do is documentation. All of this is informative, but this is also documentation, because CNN is now that the story is kind of far enough away, now that it's kind of out of the news cycle, now they're going to start retelling the story. We know because we were live. We had a live broadcast and we showed you guys the reports. There were 37 arrests made. Now they're saying, okay, well, it's been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks. People aren't talking about it. Now we're going to just start peddling the lie that there was only 2 alleged arrests. I saw crowds of people, a whole van full of people who were arrested. Now they're saying it was only 2. They're retelling the story because they feel like it's been long enough to where people are focused on something different, where they can start retelling the story and then people are going to believe the new version of the story they told. We're not going to do that because we were here with the original story. And I'm not going to do that, especially because I know people. I literally know people, have their number, know people who've actually been in that building, who live around there, and who will tell me personally if I call them, they'll pick up on the phone right now, who tell me that that place was flooded with Trinde Aragua gang members. I know that from a personal first-hand basis. So I'm not even talking about what the media is saying. I'm talking about what the community is saying. The community said that building was flooded. It ain't no two people. I don't care what CNN got to say at all. They're sitting up there trying to retell the story, but we got the real story. You can't fool nobody.
It's also happening.
Okay.
But I was asking you about the standards, because the issue at hand here is that the standards are not being met, and B, in some cases, are being slightly lowered to allow more people to get through this process because they have to meet a quota. And when you're talking about law enforcement, is that really what we should be doing?
No, absolutely not. And unfortunately, this is not really an ICE problem. This is a problem across the board. I think as many as 80% of police officers are overweight, and so we've seen standards just decrease across the board. Now, my understanding is that they aren't decreasing the standards. They're just saying that a lot of people are failing. And I think that's okay, right? They have a lot of people who are interested in joining. Not all of them are going to meet the criteria, and that's the reality.
A lot of people are joining because a lot of people need jobs. A lot of people are failing because we don't teach civic in schools, and that's a problem. And
they're offering $50,000 bonus.
A lot of people are taking the job because there's student loan forgiveness. And I hope they don't lower the standard, because the last I checked, it was the DEI candidates that needed the standard lowered. But now it seems like the people who want to work for ICE might get their standards. Let's just see how this all plays out.
That's not what's happening. They're failing. The system is working. They have fitness standards. They have standards for civics. If you fail the standards, you don't get in. So the story is that you have a system in place designed to weed people out who shouldn't be in, and it's working. That's a good thing.
I will say this. So here's what we know, at least for now.
Now I'm going to fast forward, because then they talking about how many push-ups an ICE agent can do, and they just kind of detour the conversation into like how many push-ups and how many miles they can run, and that's not what we're here to discuss.
The standards too. It's a matter of character. It's a matter of soul craft. So it's not just you got to decline the standards across the board. And too often you want to scapegoat the most vulnerable. What must be the black folk and brown folk responsible for the decline of standards? No, get off the crack pipe. That's not true at all. What's really true is the decline of standards across the board, and people acting as if they're so athletically on the cutting edge. And when it's time to take the test, they can't pass it.
And if you lie on your application, perhaps you lie on the job.
Well, just today there was an ICE police officer whose weapon discharged and injured a U.S. Marshal and the suspect because they were using the service weapon to bang on the window of a suspect. I mean, I don't know. I mean, these are the types of things that just seem like, is there proper training happening here when it comes to ICE?
There's not. We've all seen it. And there should be.
You definitively state that they're not being properly trained. You know that?
They're shooting dogs. They're shooting dogs in people's that have been locked in people's bathrooms. They're abandoning small children alone in cars while they. No, it's not false. Look it up. Don't just say false.
Abandoning small children. They turned the children over to HHS.
There were actually small children abandoned in a highway in a car in Cicero, Illinois.
You make these sweeping statements that they're not
specific
training.
would you like me
They're
to
not
get
training ICE.
with,
Of course
with
they go through
examples
training.
of what is happening?
Of course they're training them.
Well, they're training them, then they're not learning this stuff. They're definitely violating human rights, Scott.
Well, I disagree with you.
Okay, well.
Well, look, Scott, she had a specific example. It sounds like you were unfamiliar with it.
I'm not aware of her example. Here's what I know.
Okay, so
under
you don't
Joe
know
Biden, under Joe Biden, they didn't enforce federal immigration law. Now we do. We're having hundreds of thousands of interactions.
My point is that you
things
just
will
said,
happen, but she said they are not
I know,
training.
but you,
She said they're not training.
Do you think that trained ICE agents would
no,
her first statement
was,
she said, quote, they're not training them.
You just acknowledged that you don't know what she was referring to.
I don't know that scooping up U.S. citizens without giving them...
I disagree with the generalization that they're scooping up U.S.
There's
citizens.
170 that have been
Well, there's over 500,000 illegal aliens that have been deported.
There's little children that have been scooped up that are U.S. citizens.
I know, you don't want the law.
Okay, let me address this. Let me address that. Hold on. Let me address that. The narrative that they're scooping up, and this is a term that you're going to start hearing more of. They're scooping up citizens. And they keep trying to use the situation with South Shore as an example of scooping up citizens because they know for a fact the general public is going to have an image in your head when you say scooping people up. When you say scooping people up, the image in the head of the average person is that somebody is like walking on the street, or or in a business, getting some coffee or something like that, and then ICE just bust the door down and start grabbing them and then throw them in a van. That's the image that you're going to imagine when you hear the word scooping somebody up. You're hearing ICE is just chasing down people and then putting them in handcuffs and then throwing them in the back of a paddy wagon. That's the image that you hear. So when they say, oh my God, guys, they're scooping up citizens, they're scooping up black people, oh my God, they're targeting everybody. No, because you're missing, they're deliberately omitting a lot of context. They're deliberately doing that because they want to put a fearful image in our head. They didn't scoop nobody up. There was a situation where it was a lot of gang members. They didn't know where they were. They just knew they were in this building. They didn't know what rooms they were in, what apartment rooms, what apartment sets they were in. So they said, okay, everybody gotta go. So, and everybody is detained until we figure out who's who. If you're good, we're gonna let you back in. That's not scooping nobody up. Foundational Black Americans are not being scooped up. Now, if you're around a lot of them and they got to just seize the crowd and they got to sort things out, then yeah, they got to sort things out because you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you're not at risk for being deported. They're not going to send you to the court. They're not going to deport you. They already got thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. They already got a process. They don't have time to deal with a citizen. So they will detain you if need be, only if need be, which is why I keep telling people as foundational Black Americans, we need to stay far away from that situation. Stay far away from any of the buildings, anywhere ICE is going to be, because we just don't want to deal with the collateral damage that might fall back on us. So I said, hey, we need to stay as far away from that situation as possible. All right. But as far as us being scooped up, like just the average Black FBA, just J Mall just walking across the street, and then here comes ICE in an unmarked vehicle throwing them in a trunk. That's not happening. That's a fear-mongering narrative that they're trying to spew because they want to get people riled up. That's what they're trying to do.
I get it. You don't have to yell at me. You don't want the law enforcement.
Look, it is true.
Guess what?
That United States
table, black and white people
have been detained by ICE without
detained and released.
Yeah,
released.
But whether you're detained
after
and released,
hours or
after
days,
hours or days, your rights may still be violated, and that's still an issue that people have a right to be concerned about.
Can I just throw a curveball? The reason why they're often detained though is also because of the color of their skin.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's, again, a sweeping blanket general. Do you know of a specific instance where someone,
we got
I mean,
data
honestly,
the answer is
you're saying they're not political. You're saying they're racist.
No, okay. Let me stop that. The reason why there may be some FBAs, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans who might be detained is because the government made sure to put the illegals in our neighborhood. They're in South Shore, which is pretty much Black. Okay, they're not in the white neighborhoods. They're not over there. They're over where Black folk are. So ICE has to come where Black people are because that's where the government put them. That's where the government housed them. So now they have to come over to the Black neighborhoods and to get them up out of there. So there may be a couple Black folk who are detained, and I'm not saying that that's good, but if they didn't allow the illegals to come there, ICE wouldn't be there in the first place, so it's really on them. But that's the reason. It's not, oh, well, they detained you because you're Black. No, they put them in the Black community. So by proxy, we all got to deal with the collateral damage or even being inconvenienced because of their presence. All right? I want to show y'all something else. They talk about the standard being lower. And let me tell y'all something. The standard being lower, the standard being lower for the illegals is crazy. Let me show y'all this. This is pretty bad, y'all. This one's pretty bad. Hold on.
Several law enforcement investigators.
Where is it? Oh, right here it is. Why is it showing up like that? Okay. Can it? Well, okay. Oh, there we go.
Exclusive dash cam video, which is now the subject of several law enforcement investigations. It shows the moment a red semi-truck plowed into a number of vehicles on the westbound 10 freeway in Ontario just after 1 p.m. yesterday. The CHP told the LA Times the driver of this big rig is a 21-year-old man who is now under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. A total of 4 semis were involved and also 4 passenger vehicles, one of them exploding in flames. 3 people were killed and 4 others were taken to local hospitals. This horrific crash happened just east of the 15 freeway and shut down all westbound lanes for more than 12 hours. Thousands of drivers were trapped in the gridlock just as the evening commute was getting underway. It's exclusive dash cam video, which is now the subject of several law enforcement investigations. It shows the moment a red semi-truck plowed into a number of vehicles on the westbound 10 freeway in Ontario just after 1 p.m. yesterday. The CHP told the LA Times the driver of this big rig is a 21-year-old man who is now under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs.
Okay. This guy was an immigrant. Okay, that dude is an illegal immigrant, and now ICE is getting in the picture about that. Okay, that's in California. They're doing drugs. How they're doing drugs. Let me ask y'all this: how did he get a CDL as an illegal immigrant in America? And this is not the first time we've seen a semi-truck, a 18-wheeler crash and cause a major catastrophe, major accident on the highway, killing multiple people, multiple innocent people. All right. This guy was on drugs. The other dude, I think, was drunk. Okay. And these people are illegal immigrants. And these are the people that they're saying to us, we need to go out there and fight ICE for their right to be here, because let them tell it. Hold on, let them tell it. They're here to do the jobs that we don't want to do. He's doing the job that we don't want to do. And if he's not doing it, it won't be done. Let them tell it. They are necessary. They're absolutely necessary. They need to be there. They need to be doing those jobs. Let them tell it. All right. You got them all around the country in big trucks. You saw how big that truck was. That truck squashed vans, multiple vans, all the way. The only thing that stopped that truck was a whole nother truck. That's the only. Do you know how powerful that is? That truck ran through that like it shredded through it like paper. The car just blew up. There's cars that just, it was just running through. The literal only thing that stopped that truck was another truck equal in size. And this is what we're just supposed to tolerate the fact that they want to come over and do a job that they tell us we don't want to do. Let me get to some of the super chats real quick. Shout out to Eve. Shout out to Eve. Thank you very much. She says, peace, FBA. Great topic and content tonight. Thank you so very much, beloved. Thank you very much. And then she says, sends another one. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Now let me show you something else. Not only are they doing something like incredibly illegal, okay, dangerous as far as driving the trucks. Let me show y'all this. Come on now.
Police say they've arrested a suspect connected to a series of home invasions and attempted sexual assaults. Police arrested 21-year-old Yason Diaz-Gomez Monday. Back on October 10th, police say he attacked a woman in Evanston and tried to remove her clothing before a neighbor heard the woman scream and intervened. A few hours later, 3 similar incidents were reported in Rogers Park. In one case, a woman reported fighting off a man who attacked her after breaking into her home. One of the victims identified Diaz-Gomez in a photo lineup leading to his arrest. He's being held in jail until his trial. Police say they've arrested a suspect connected to a series
now,
of
mind you, all of this is in Chicago. All of this, or not all of it, the one I showed you before is in California. But this situation right here in particular, this happened in Chicago. And you heard J.B. Prisker talking to Stephen A. saying that, hey, there's no dangerous criminals. They're not there to get the dangerous criminals. Okay, these are hardworking people, and this is what we got to deal with. And when we talk when we go to city council about it, they tell us that we're wrong and we're xenophobic. Okay, we sound like white nationalists. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. Okay. I mean, it's bad, y'all. It's real bad. I also want to show you. Hold on, let me show y'all something else. All of this is going on in Chicago. That's the state. That's the city in the state that J.B. Pritzker is in charge of, as he's saying that immigrants, illegal immigrants, the illegals are not a problem. He's saying that to us that they're not a problem, and I'm showing you, I'm deliberately showing you that they're a problem, and he's lying, and he knows they're a problem. Okay, let me show y'all this.
Cicero police now confirms a driver of a blue pickup truck was allegedly attempting to hit a DHS vehicle at that intersection. Police say the driver of the blue truck tried speeding off from the area when it hit a Toyota sedan that was crossing through the intersection. Federal agents could be seen helping the woman who was driving that sedan, and they took the driver of the blue pickup truck into custody. 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigjo Lopez was nearby as ICE operations unfolded in Little Village today.
26 and Christiana, they crash and leave in the middle of the street, chase somebody out of the vehicle. They keep doing that. They detain someone right here in outside of businesses. I think there are at least 2 people.
Cicero police now confirms a driver of a blue pickup truck was allegedly attempting to hit a DHS vehicle at that intersection.
Okay. And I want y'all to see the alderman is flipping the story. Somebody, and I've shown you guys video of them doing it in Chicago. So you know they do it. You know they do it because you watch this channel and you've seen them do it. I've shown you the footage of them doing it. He tried to run into a vehicle or a person, Department of Homeland Security, DHS. And as he's trying to hit them with a pickup truck, he hits an innocent woman. And now you got the city alderman who's all like, oh, they chased him down and they did him wrong. They did him wrong. He's the one who's being done wrong. He's the one who's being done wrong. And as they're saying, as these people are literally running their vehicles into officers, they're saying that ICE is being too harsh on them. ICE is being too harsh on them. They're running pickup trucks into people. If they're not running 18-wheelers, they have an obsession with running trucks into people. These people all over the country crashing trucks into folk, and ICE is being too harsh on them. Now, nobody talks about people being too hard on black people, but ICE being too hard on the people who use their trucks as battering rams. It's just something else. It's despicable, man.
Police say the driver of the blue truck tried speeding off from the area when it hit a Toyota sedan that was crossing through the intersection. Federal agents could be seen helping the woman who was driving.
I don't know why it repeats itself, though. Not sure why it does that. Not sure. No. I want to show y'all something else, though. And this is why when we standing out there and we making sure we handle our business in Chicago, I was there. There was a Cook County meeting today. And I was there for that. Me and Miss Jackson, we were there at the Cook County meeting. I posted this today. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys this. Where now she's saying that, hey, and then remember, Donald Trump was talking about he was going to arrest, or there should be arrests made of Brandon Johnson and of J.B. Pritzker. So now with that being said, Miss Jackson's all like, hey, if you want to come get them, you need to come get them and all of the other public officials who are all in cahoots with each other and who all make things when it comes to, would all make buddy and turn a blind eye and do little corruption things with paperwork. All of them need to be arrested. They need to be arrested because what all of them are doing is illegal crimes. They help and sign legislation for illegals and they undermine the black community. That's what we were up there talking about today. Let me show y'all that footage.
And I'm here at the Cook County Board of Commissioner meeting of October 23rd, 2025. I have with me the love note that you sent me. You sent me this love note during the November 2024 election cycle because you saw me advocate for your presidency here. President Trump, I thank you for acknowledging my work. Now I need you to take it a step further, President Trump. We have a real corruption problem with public officials here in the city of Chicago and Cook County. Right before you at the podium is Cook County President Toni Preckwinkle. She knows all about the corruption here, and she does nothing about it. President Trump, the only way to stop street violence here, the only way to really get a hold on the issue with illegal immigration here, you're gonna have to deal with the courts. You're gonna have to deal with the corrupt judges here. There's the only way to do it. The judges here are corrupt, along with the new clerk of the court, Mariana Spatolius, is how you say her name. Along with, and see Toni Preckwinkle, please get that shot, Afro Elite, is laughing. She's laughing as I'm reporting this to the President of the United States of America, who is the most powerful man in the whole wide world. Toni Preckwinkle is laughing that I'm sending you a message. Also is the issue of our inspector generals. She has the sheriff behind me in a white shirt, looking to try to apprehend me while I exercise my freedom of speech, while that same sheriff department has been told not to go and finish the eviction that was started on my property because the public administrators, Louis G. Apostle and Tina Lestropoulos, have told them to squat. The independent inspector generals know all about this, including the independent inspector general, Katerina Dakova, including the one that's at the podium right now. I'm not sure of her name. Get her face too, with the purple outfit on. These are all people that you need to come and get in order to straighten out Chicago. I will send you a follow-up video like I did 3 weeks ago from the desk of Jessica Jackson. Thank you, President Trump, for getting on this because you know all about corrupt courts. And then we'll see if Toni Preckwinkle will laugh when the Department of Justice comes into Chicago. Thank you.
See, and this is why we got to stand on business. This is what we got to do, okay? For everybody, and a lot of trolls, they're going to be all like, oh man, y'all talking about Trump? Y'all talking about Trump? Do y'all see what we got to go through? If you guys were there seeing, listening to what we got to go through, they're up there taking pictures, smiling, cheesing ear to ear. I'm talking about they're out there patting themselves on the back. They think they're untouchable. That's why Toni Preckwinkle, that woman that you saw, was laughing. Oh, they're not going to, they think they're invincible. And because they think they're invincible, they can get away with everything because the Cook County, and let me explain something for the people who don't live in Illinois. Cook County is a county. Okay. There's different counties. There's like Cook County, Will County, different counties, right? There's an intersection between Cook County as a county and the city of Chicago. They're two different things, but there is intersection where there is part of the city of Chicago that is also part of Cook County. Cook County extends past the city of Chicago, but there is some part of the county that is in the city. Okay. So they do kind of intersect and they're all in cahoots with each other. I just want to explain that so people can understand if they're not from the city. All right. So they're all in cahoots. Toni Preckwinkle, the Cook County, they're in cahoots with the city. The city is in cahoots with the state. And every time we come up there, and remember, they was doing the same thing when we were going to City Hall. They were doing the same exact thing when we were going to City Hall. They laughed. A lot of them did. Every time we were saying, hey, y'all need to do this, y'all ignoring black people, they would turn around, they would look at each other, they would snicker, they would laugh, they almost couldn't help themselves laughing in our face the same exact way Tony Preckwinkle was laughing at Miss Jackson. And she saw that stopped when she said, oh, Afro Lee, go get her. Show the picture, okay? Show her laughing. She tried to sober up real quick. Let me show y'all that again. Yeah, because she knows when I get Miss Jackson up there, when me and Miss Jackson there, okay, the stuff goes viral, all right? The stuff goes viral and it gets a lot of people's attention. All right. So much so, Trump knows who Miss Jackson is. That's why she was holding the paper. That was a paper or picture, rather. That was a picture signed by Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows who Miss Jackson is. Okay. He sent that to her. He knows who Miss Jackson is. That's why Miss Jackson's all like, hey, Trump, you sent this to me. Hey, I need you to do something for me. Okay. This ain't no, hey, go Donald Trump. This, hey, Donald Trump, come on, let's get this business done. That's what Miss Jackson's there for. That's what I'm there for. And you see, when we talk, when we standing on business, they get to laughing and stuff like that. But when we all like, okay, I'm gonna show your face. I'm gonna show your face because this is going viral. You don't want to be laughing because you don't want a target on your back. The way Johnson has a target on his back. The way Pritzker has a target on his back. You don't want nobody to look, the Department of Homeland Security. You don't want the Department of Justice, rather. You don't want them looking into you, looking into the corruption of Cook County. You don't want that to happen. Cook County is nicknamed Crook County for a reason. All right, with all of the corruption they got going on, you don't want folks to look into you. That's why when I said when I showed the video of her, she stopped laughing real quick and then kind of leaned back a little bit. Let me show that one more time. She stopped laughing real quick and then leaned back a little bit because she was like, don't put that target on my back. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. She thought I was just going to keep the camera on Miss Jackson. Hold on.
Love note during the November 2024 election cycle because you saw me advocate for your presidency here. President Trump, I thank you for acknowledging my work. Now I need you to take it a step further, President Trump. We have a real corruption problem with public officials here in the city of Chicago and Cook County. Right before you at the podium is Cook County President Tony Preckwinkle. She knows all about the corruption here, and she does nothing about it. President Trump, the only way to stop street violence here, the only way to really get a hold on the issue with illegal immigration here, you're gonna have to deal with the courts. You're gonna have to deal with the corrupt judges here. There's the only way to do it. The judges here are corrupt, along with the new clerk of the court, Mariana Spatolius, is how you say her name. Along with, and see Tony Preckwinkle, please get that shot, Afro Elite, is laughing. She's laughing as I'm reporting this to the President of the United States of America.
Hold on, let me take it back. Hold on.
Most powerful man in the
see her
whole
face change
wide
real
world.
quick?
Most powerful
She had to
man.
lick her lips to try to make her face change. You see that? Hold on. Hold on.
Afro Elite is laughing. She's laughing as I'm reporting this to the President of the United States.
She was like, uh-oh. She said, damn. Yeah, you don't want that hot spot on you. You don't want a target on your back, but it's too late now. You shouldn't have been laughing. Because now you showed us that you think something a joke. Now you showed us that you think we're a joke. And now we got to show you that we're not a joke. Okay, so now we're going to have to put you on blast. Now we got to put you, okay, all right. Think we playing. Brandon Johnson thought we was playing. He don't think we playing no more. He don't think we playing no more. That's why he be putting us up in the top thing. He don't think we playing no more. Now, something else I want to say. Something else we gotta talk about, y'all. Something else we gotta talk about. The Democratic Party, in particular, the governors. You got Governor Wes Moore, who vetoed reparations. Now he's on this campaign, and I've been saying this before, because he still wants the avenue to be open for a presidential run, or at the very least, the opportunity for him to be vice president which is going to help him become president. So he went on a Breakfast Club. Show y'all that. He went on a Breakfast Club because he understands that vetoing reparations was real bad press. Oh, that didn't look good. Oh, that didn't look good. So he's on a Breakfast Club to kind of save his image a little bit. That's what he's doing, to save his image. Let me show y'all this, where he talks about.
I want you to talk about this because, I saw you get a little flack because you vetoed a measure to create a commission to study potential slavery reparations in the state of Maryland. But to me, you had a valid reason. If people actually heard your whole statement.
Exactly. I mean, listen.
Okay. Stop that there. Stop that there. You see Charlemagne? You see what Charlemagne did? Oh, yeah, you vetoed reparations. But to me, you had a valid reason. Okay. The Breakfast Club does this because the Breakfast Club is there for, is used as a vessel for people who are, selected to come there and clean their image up. That's what the Breakfast Club does. They're there to give certain people alley-oops. They're there to give certain people a chance to clean their image up. And Charlemagne and the rest of them go and help. So they're there to try to help Westmore clean his image up to the Black community. So that's why he's all like, yeah, you vetoed reparations. But to me, you had a really good reason if people listen to it. Okay. You're trying to give him an alley-oop. That's what he's trying to do. And that's why he's on the Breakfast Club, because he knows his image with Black people is trash right now. He knows that. So he's on the Breakfast Club and he's allowing Charlemagne and the rest of them to help him clean his image up, because he knows that stain of vetoing reparations is going to follow him into the elections next year and then in 2028. So he's trying to wash that out now, and he's using the Breakfast Club for that. Let's continue.
Well, what I said was, I'm a person of action. I don't need more studies. I mean, like we've done 4 studies over the past 20 years on similar type of elements.
7.
So 4 studies over the past 20 years.
Okay.
By the way, one of which my wife worked on.
Yes.
And so when we're now talking about doing a 2-year study on something that I already know the answer to, I'm like, what are we studying? And this was my point. I think about the work, and again, I'm not saying that this issue was not worth working on. In fact, frankly, I've been working very closely with the members of our caucus and members of the community around a whole series of these issues. It's the reason that we just authorized $400 million for our Just Community Initiative, which made sure that we're putting $400 million of additional capital into communities that have been the subject and have been truly hurt by racist and discriminatory policies, things like redlining, things like mass incarceration, things like mass highway constructions, which were cutting off neighborhoods, that we said we are going to identify all those communities and neighborhoods, and we're starting off with just $400 million that's going specifically to those neighborhoods to address the racist policies of the past. It's the reason that we've done things like this.
Okay. I want you guys to know all of his substitute, and we already broke this down before, all of his substitutes are not lineage based. Now he's like, I keep trying to say, he's trying to clean up his image. This is what he's trying to do. Because originally what he said was he's doing this for people of color. He says we can do things to help people of color. And he already know the second we hear the word or the term people of color, we already going to put folk on blast. We're going to put you on blast instantly. If we hear you use some Black and brown, minority, people of color, we putting you on blast. So now he's sitting up there not using that no more. He wants a second chance to say, oh, I'm doing this for communities that have been affected by racism. That's still too vague. No. Because this is not just about racism, because then that opens the door for other non-FBAs to benefit from this. Okay. That's not lineage specific, nor is that direct cash payment. Notice he's not going to talk about that. I'm going to let him finish, but he's not going to talk about no direct cash payments. He's talking about community investments into select neighborhoods that's been disenfranchised. Now he can do that and do reparations at the same time, but he's saying, I'm not going to do the reparation study. I'm just going to do this, because he knows the reparation study is going to be lineage specific. And he doesn't want to do that because he knows that's going to cut off his opportunity when he tries to branch out and make connections for the presidency. He doesn't want to be the governor that gives reparations. Oh no, because that's gonna be bad press for him when it comes to all of these, moderates who don't support reparations. He doesn't want to piss them off by doing something. So he'll do something for immigrants and everybody, but he doesn't want to piss them off, because a lot of people who are everybody who is not going to get reparations are going to be pissed off if we get reparations. And he don't want to piss them off. So he's saying no. He's saying no. Now he's trying to kind of walk it back or rebrand why he did it, retell why he did it. It's too late, dude. I'll tell you right now. Let me tell you right now, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. We know why. We know why. You can't reword why you broke it down. You can't reword why you vetoed it. You can't do that. We know you vetoed it, and we know the first thing that you said, that you want to do things for communities of color. So we already know what type of time you on. Now you want to come out here months later on the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne talking about, I know why you did it. You want to come out here on the Breakfast Club and try to walk back what you said or retell what you said. It's not going to work, dude. It's not going to work. It's over with. It's over with.
Investments in our HBCUs, because they've been historically neglected and pulled back on. Maryland has 4 remarkable HBCUs. We're putting historic investment back into them. It's the reason we've done things like the mass pardons and giving people a second chance at life, because who do people think that is going to benefit most?
And see, who do you think that's going to benefit most? No, that's the same exact thing Kamala said. That's the same thing she said. Well, if we do this, and if we do this in this policy, in this policy, in this policy, that's going to disproportionately help Black people. But I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people. No, I'm not doing anything specifically for Black people. And Westmore is following in the same footsteps. He's doing things, and now he's going to say, well, who do you think that's going to help most? Who do you think that's going to disproportionately help? We're not looking for disproportionate help, because we were not disproportionately targeted. We were directly and exclusively targeted. So we want direct and exclusive payment for it.
It's the reason that we've done things like procurement reform and created Black millionaires inside of the state of Maryland. I'm unapologetic about the support for our Black community, for the support for Black people who oftentimes have been the fabric and the backbone for so much of our society. And I know right now, when we are watching this assault on our communities, when we're watching, the Trump administration now is end up firing more Black women than we have seen in a generation, that we have now seen our insurance being pulled away, grants going to entrepreneurs, that everything that is connected to diversity, equity, inclusion, that they are making illegal. We don't.
Okay, well, yeah, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, that didn't benefit foundational Black Americans. We not tripping on that. We not tripping on that. And if diversity, equity, and inclusion really did, then that should give you an extra incentive to sign off on reparations. That needs to give you an extra incentive to sign off on reparations. That's what that needs to do.
Need a 2-year study right now, man. I need action. I need action. And so that was the point that we were trying to make, is that in this time, in this crisis moment, I don't need a study.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
No, and you see, Charlemagne, let's get to it. Let's get to it. No, dude. No, dude. And Charlemagne don't really care for reparations like that. No way. He's damn sure not going to press the issue for reparations, because when Kamala was running and she kept going on the Breakfast Club and talking to Charlemagne, he didn't press her about reparations. He did not press the issue when he had the chance. And he's not pressing the issue now when he has the chance. He never does. He's making it seem like Westmore's making a good decision. And Westmore, of course, he's going to get out there and he's going to bring up, oh, Trump is firing Black women. He's firing a lot of people, not just Black women, but he's firing a lot of people. Trump is doing this, and we got this, and we got this, and let's just do the work. Let's just do the work. But the work is not lineage specific, though. Yeah, you're reinvesting in communities. That's not lineage specific. Let's just do the work. Well, where's the direct cash payments then? You see, he don't want to do that. He don't want to do that. And he knows that we know. He knows that the second he did it, we put him on the don't vote for again list. He's on that list of people that we got to get out of office. He's on that list of people that we're making sure don't reach the presidency. Him, Kamala, they're on the same list now. He's all like, hey, I got to get off this list. Him, Kamala, Gavin Newsom, okay, JB Pritzker. It's over. It's a wrap for y'all. It's a wrap for y'all. All of y'all governor, it's a wrap for y'all. So all of them are trying to get off that list. That's why JB Pritzker went on Stephen A. to talk about how ICE is doing something bad and there's not an illegal problem. Now they're on a press run because they're all trying to sanitize their image. All of them are. JB Pritzker has aspirations. All of them do. All of them do. They at least want the option. All of them do. So all of them, remember, Kamala's been on the press one. That's why she came out with that book to blame Biden for everything he's done. She feel like, hey, I got to throw Biden under the bus. She's trying to clean her image up. Gavin Newsom is trying to clean his image up. We was talking about him earlier this week, I believe, where Gavin Newsom, he signed some things for reparations and then he vetoed some things. So Gavin Newsom's trying to clean his image up with the black community. Notice it's specifically with us as foundational black Americans. When I tell you we got the power, this is what I mean. We have the power. They're trying to clean their image up for us, so we don't have them on that list. They're trying to get their name off that no vote for list. Kamala's doing that by blaming Biden for everything. Wes Moore's doing that by saying, oh no, I'm just trying to get the work done. I don't need a study. I'm trying to get the work done. Wes Moore's doing that with the Breakfast Club. Gavin Newsom's doing that with signing off half of reparations recommendations. All of them are doing that. Even JB Pritzker's doing that by going on Stephen A. They're all doing that. All of them. They're all doing that. And let me tell you something right now. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Once you say no the first time, we believe you. See, that's your problem. We not really for the second chance, second, third, fifth chance. We ain't really about that. We not for that. All of that. Well, no, I know I said no, but I really meant yes. We don't believe that. We're not children. That's y'all problem. We're not like, well, no. When you say no one time, you better watch what you say. You better watch what you say. Because if we ask you about reparations, cash payment for foundational black Americans exclusively, not no people of color, not no minority, not no reparations for racism. When we tell you about reparations, we need an absolute yes the first time, the second time, the third time, the fifth time, the 10th time. If we ask you 100 times, we need an absolute yes 100 times. If we ask you 1,000,000 times, we need an absolute yes 1,000,000 times. 1,000,000 times. If we ask you 1,000,001 and you say no on the 1,000,001, then it's over with. It's over with. As many times as we ask you, we need a yes on every single last one of them. We need an absolute yes. If the second is anything less than an absolute yes, it's a done deal. That's how I'm seeing it. That because we can't rely on you if you don't say yes. We know we've learned too much to rely on people who are saying no. If we ask you 10 times and you say yes the 10th time, if we ask you 11 times and you say I don't know, oh, it's a no then. That means you scratch off all those times you said yes. To me, that's what that means. If you say no, if you say maybe, if you say I don't know, if you say we'll see, that means that washes away all of the times you said yes. Okay? Your last answer is the official answer. I don't care what you answered before. I care what you're answering now. Your current answer is the official answer. So if your current answer is a maybe, I'll see. We got to think about it. It's complex. I'll if it's anything less than an absolute yes, then that is the current answer. That's your current stance. From there forward, if you say no the first time and you say yes the second time, I'm gonna believe the first time. See, that's how that work. That's how that work. If I ask you 5 times, you say yes, yes, no, yes, yes. I'm gonna believe the no out of the 5 times. I don't care if you say yes the other times. I'm gonna believe that no. I'm gonna believe that no. I'll say, oh, is there a no in there? I'm scanning through it. I'm skipping. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Oh, it's a no in here. It's a no. That means no. There better not be no. And that's Westmore's problem. That's his deal. You shouldn't have said no. You made an official statement that is a no. You can't walk that back, dude. We're not playing with you. We're not playing with you. We are not playing with you. You might as well not even look at the presidency. You really might as well not do that. You might as well not do that. I'm telling you right now, ain't nobody playing with you. This is why I'm wearing this shirt. Y'all see this shirt with Dr. King on it talking about reparations? We're not playing about no reparation. I'm not playing, and I know y'all not. We are not here to play no games. We are not here to play no games. We y'all think like, oh, I messed up. Let me reword that. And let me tell y'all something else. How many times I want y'all to really get this through? Let me make an official statement. Let me make an official statement. And I rarely do this. But I'm going to speak for the community. I'm going to speak for, and if I'm right, I want y'all to put the 100 emoji up. Because when I speak for the community, I want to make sure I'm representing y'all properly. If I'm speaking correctly, I want y'all to put the 100 emoji up. Let me say this and be abundantly clear. The Breakfast Club cannot save you. Let me say that one more time. The Breakfast Club cannot save you. I don't know how many times y'all mess up and y'all think y'all can go to the Breakfast Club. Y'all think y'all can have an interview with Charlemagne and y'all think y'all can wash away what y'all did. The Breakfast Club cannot save you. That it maybe could have 15 years ago, but today it cannot save you. Okay, we already know what the Breakfast Club is on. We already understand what type of time Charlemagne and Envy and all of them. We already understand what type of time they be on. Y'all can keep running to the Breakfast Club all y'all want to. It's not helping y'all. I'm telling you right now, it's not helping y'all. How many times y'all get in trouble, y'all run to the Breakfast Club, and y'all get in worse trouble? The Breakfast Club don't make nothing better for none of y'all ever. Y'all should learn that by now. Okay. Apparently, I'm correct because the community is standing on what I'm saying. Y'all might as well stop wasting y'all time trying to save yourselves with the Breakfast Club. I'm telling you right now, the Breakfast Club cannot save you. You go into the Breakfast Club because you know, and you don't want to come over here. You don't want to talk to the grassroots because you know the Breakfast Club is going to be on your side. Just like Charlemagne was with Westmore just now. You know the Breakfast Club is going to give soft answers. They're going to slightly allude to the controversy, but they're not going to press too hard. They're going to kind of let you reword it. They're not going to ask you follow-up questions. We already know about that. We know the Breakfast Club is not going to stand on business like that. We know that. We know that. So the Breakfast Club can't save you. We know y'all go to the Breakfast Club because y'all all friends. We know that. The Breakfast Club ain't helping y'all. You know, and you know how we know? I want you guys to do something for y'all who think the Breakfast Club can save you. Ask her. Ask her if the Breakfast Club can save you. Because she was on the Breakfast Club a few times. She was kicking it with Charlemagne a few times. Ask Kamala if the Breakfast Club can save you. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to go ask her if the Breakfast Club can save you. I don't think it can. I don't think it can. Because it didn't save her. I can't think of a person in recent times at all that it did save. Y'all keep trying though. Keep trying. And every time y'all do, I'm gonna be right here saying, nope, wrong. Keep trying. It's not gonna work. Y'all shouldn't mess up. Y'all trying to sanitize y'all image. I'm here to remind people, to let people know that y'all signed your image in stone. Y'all can't erase nothing. It's carved in stone. Okay? Like the pyramids of Egypt, of Giza, and all of that. All the it's hieroglyphs of what y'all did. It's not nothing that y'all can erase. Y'all can't wash it over. Y'all can't do nothing. It's in stone what y'all did. Y'all said no and carved that in stone. So it's over with. It's over with. Family, what I would appreciate y'all doing is y'all hitting that like button, because that concludes tonight's live stream. I appreciate that. Y'all hit that like button for me, family. Shout out to all of the new subscribers. Thank you all so very much. Thank you all so very much. If you guys have not subscribed, now is your opportunity to do so and join the community, and hit that notification bell so that way y'all don't miss out. Y'all see all of the lives and the posts and all of that stuff. All right. And I know you guys have been looking for the sister's account. I gotta find it. I forgot her name to the business. I forgot her name to the website. So I gotta really do some deep digging. So y'all come back. All right. Let me get to, was there any more there was a couple more super chats. Let me get to the super chats. Shout out to Fuquan sends a super sticker. Thank you very much. Shout out to Mother Tree and Moon, says next time keep the camera on them longer, please. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the camera on them. I just want to make sure I get Miss Jackson, but I'm gonna keep the camera on him. And then Westmore, he says, oh no, I said Westmore. I'm looking at the thing. I said Westmore. Flint Water says Westmore is on some of that Obama is riding lift Obama, a riding tide lifts all boats BS. Exactly. With the whole disproportionate, this is going to disproportionately help everybody. I'm not looking for no disproportionate nothing. Because disproportionate means that there are some people who are not a part of the lineage who get to benefit. We're done with that. We're done. Ain't no lifting all boats. I don't want to see anybody else's boat rise on the tide that's supposed to be lifting my boat, because y'all do stuff to lift everybody else's boat and our boat stays the same. And then when y'all do something for our boat, everybody else's boat got to get something. No, we done with that. Don't even bring that to me no more. Rising tides. I don't want no tides raised. Lift my boat. Do something for my boat. Don't talk about the tides. Talk about my boat. That's what I want. I ain't even on that. Well, what about a rising tides? There better not be no rising tides. A rising tides is gonna make me mad. I said I want my boat fixed. I don't want you to lift no boats. That sounds selfish. Okay. That's mean. Okay. All right. You can call me selfish. You can call me mean. You can call me that. I want my boat fixed. That's what I'm on. With that being said, I think that closes things out pretty well. With that being said, I need y'all to have a good night. Okay. Y'all have a safe weekend. I appreciate y'all. I'm probably going to make some more additions to the channel as well, too. So be looking forward for that coming up soon. Be looking forward to that coming up soon. I appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you all, family. Thank you. With that being said, y'all have a good rest of y'all night, and y'all stay blessed.